Hello, my name is Arwen Sweet, and I'm the Sexual Violence Prevention and Response Manager here at Trent. I'm also one half of the Consent at Trent team, where we provide support, workshops, and resources around sexual and gender-based violence to the Trent community, along with what we can all do to think about how we can prevent violence, create safety for one another, and build a culture of consent on campus and beyond. So today I'm here to talk a little bit about sexual harassment in the workplace, along with what rights you have as employees and co-op work term students, along with the ways that Consent at Trent can provide support around these issues. So I really want to preface this conversation with this is something that we hope folks don't experience as their time as employees. And we also know that should these issues ever arise, it can be really helpful to have some information around what sexual harassment in the workplace is, along with some of the rights and policies that exist, and what supports are available. So, with that, let's start by getting on the same page about what we're talking about when we talk about sexual harassment. So, sexual harassment is any unwanted action or comment an employee experiences that targets someone's sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. It's also could be someone making a sexual advance where the person making that advance is in a position of power over that employee. So it could be someone like a supervisor, someone who provides references, someone who makes decisions about whether that employee advances, all of those types of things. So, really recognizing that sexual harassment can happen in a workplace between employees, so caused by one employee to another, and by someone who is in some sort of position of power over, like a supervisor. Some examples of this include unwanted flirting or advances. It could also look like unwanted comments from coworkers about one's body, clothing, or appearance. It could also include comments or actions invalidating one's gender identity or gender expression. So, this is certainly not an exhaustive list of sexual harassment. However, it is kind of an idea of what these things can look like in practice. I also want to really recognize that sexual harassment can happen both in online spaces, over chat, over email, and in person, in the ways that employees are interacting with one another in the workplace. So now that we're a bit on the same page about what we're talking about when we talk about sexual harassment in the workplace, it can also be really helpful to know that employers have a duty to create safety for the employees around these issues. So all different organizations, places folks can be employed, workplaces, they're required under law in Ontario to have sexual harassment policies. So these policies generally outline what the expectations are in the workplace around sexual harassment, i.e., that folks should not be committing any acts of sexual harassment. And it outlines any reporting or accountability processes that are available to folks should these types of issues come up. So these can be really helpful policies to kind of know what your rights are as an employee in a workspace. And I want to recognize that sometimes policies can be a little bit hard to follow. So part of my role here at Trent is actually providing one-on-one support to students, anyone who's a Trent student around these types of issues of sexual and gender-based violence, one of which could be workplace sexual harassment. So particularly in this case, some of the ways that I'm able to support students are actually looking up what is the sexual harassment policy in a workplace, what procedures exist, who are the people that folks can internally report to or get some accountability to help create some safety or have the issue that's been coming up for them addressed. Another way that I'm able to support is recognizing that when these things come up, it can be really hard to follow along with academics. So I'm able to support students in getting academic considerations depending on what their needs are. I'm also here to do things like safety planning, ensuring that folks are feeling comfortable with their workplace, as well as comfortable in their living and learning environments as well. I'm here to support with any sort of advocacy that might be helpful. I'm here to support with navigating different systems here at Trent, as well as things like counseling, medical care, all those types of things. Another really important part of my role is I'm able to connect folks with different legal support or other types of support that might be helpful depending on what's coming up for them. All the ways that I provide support are free. They're also available to all students of all genders and diverse lived experiences, as well as undergraduate and graduate students. We also just love to hear from folks at Consent at Trent. So if you have any questions around what types of support we offer around gender-based violence, around creating a culture of consent, please feel free to send us an email. Our email is consent@trentu.ca. You're also welcome to sign up for our newsletter or follow along on our Instagram at Consent at Trent if you're interested in what other types of events and learning opportunities that we have through Consent at Trent. Thanks so much for listening to this video, for following along, and best of luck with your work placement. Thanks. Bye.